Hi, this is official boxing entertainment news. And what I'm going to talk about today, because I see a lot of comments, right? I see a lot of comments and about Floyd Mayweather. And people, say why is this guy, considered, or why do people even mention him as one of the best of all time? Why do some people don't consider him the best of all time? People saying, he's ducking fights. Other people say he's fighting the best fights. There's many different opinions, and no matter what, you can't be neutral about him. You still have an opinion about him. So, I'm gonna break down, exactly what Floyd Mayweather is and what people think he is and what people think he's not, and everything about him. Um, why is he so great? Why isn't he so great? Okay. Boxing aside, and you know, I'm gonna talk about him as a fighter, right? What makes Floyd Mayweather great? And what I have to say is, Floyd Mayweather is not like other boxers. He was not born with power, right? Or it was not born with physical advantages, right? And you have to take that into consideration. If you're, let's say if you're a boxer, and if you're born with power, right? You have a lot of power, so that's your advantage. You're born with it. You don't have to think defensively. You know, you have the fight to your advantage. It's hard when you don't have advantages and you have to be smart. It's way harder, you know. What if Floyd had power? You know, what if what if that was his advantage? Isn't it better as an advantage, having power in a fight? Let's say the young fighter Keith Thurman. He has power over anybody he faces. You say Keith Thurman versus this guy, Keith Thurman versus that guy, and Keith Thurman's gonna win. Is he more intelligent than the other guy? No, he just he has power, and he already has that advantage to him. And an example is, it's like Keith Thurman is a lion, right? And Floyd Mayweather was not born a lion, you know. He doesn't have that advantage. Floyd Mayweather was born a mongoose. So he has to be way more smart about how to attack and how not to be attacked. And it's easier for Keith Thurman, because he's already a lion. He's already on top of the food chain. He can just, whatever he goes up against, he already has these advantages. What makes the mongoose great? The mongoose was not born with all these advantages. He has to be more smart. He has to have, defensive abilities, counterattack abilities, and being able to fight lions and tigers and still come out on top. I think that is the greatness overall, that Floyd has. Unlike, many other boxers in history. That is his quality, that is his trait. The IQ of boxing, that's what makes him great. He doesn't have any other advantages. He can't, um trade shots with you. We don't know about his chin. We don't know if, it never gets touched, so we don't know if he was born with a great chin. weight advantages also. He walks at his weight class, and well, yeah, I know he moved up to welterweight, but he walks around his weight, so he doesn't have that 15, 14 pound weight advantage. He doesn't have many advantages other than his brain, and that's him. He wasn't born with that. He developed it. Roger and Floyd Mayweather Sr. They developed this IQ, and that's what I think that makes Floyd Mayweather great, because he doesn't rely on power. He doesn't rely on many things. He was. You can give. Listen to me. If you put any boxer inside Keith Thurman, he's gonna knock him out. You know, you can put Timothy Bradley inside Keith Thurman's body, and then he's gonna be great. If you put Timothy Bradley inside Floyd's body, what advantage does he have? He doesn't have Floyd's mind. Floyd doesn't have those physical advantages. He has that head, that IQ, that boxing knowledge, and I think that's what makes him great. Now, as far as of opponents, he hasn't faced the legitimate threat, Manny Pacquiao, right? Some people say, you know what, oh shit, that's easy work, and other people say, you know what, that's the hardest and most difficult, fight that he has to take, right? I agree with the people that say that it is the most difficult fight. Why? Because Pacquiao is on the same elite level than Floyd is. And of course, some of the people are going to say, no, he's not. Floyd's on a different level. If you think about it like this, the resumes that Floyd's opponents, let's say Marcos Maidana does not have the same resume as Manny Pacquiao, right? Yeah, he's beaten up, top welterweights, and but he doesn't have the same resume. Floyd and Manny have the same resume. If you go back to 2009, 2010, 2011, 2000, they have the same resume. They have the same Hall of Famer credentials in there. Only them two have it. Only those two boxers. Manny Pacquiao has the same credentials, same Hall of Famer credentials. He's even looked better against some of those fighters than Floyd. With that said, I think he's in the same elite level, that Floyd is. And why do I say that? Maidana can be beat, later on. Somebody can beat Maidana. Somebody can beat Canelo Alvarez too, And even Robert Guerrero, I think Robert Guerrero can lose, in a couple of years. But who hasn't lost? I'm saying I know he's lost, Manny Pacquiao. I know he's lost, but Timothy Bradley, the first fight he won. The second fight with Marcus, the fourth fight with Marcus, which was his second loss, he was dominating that fight, but he got knocked out with one punch. But has he lost rounds? Has he been beaten up? Has he been technically defeated? I don't think so. He's been winning rounds all along. He's a fighter that's not gonna lose. So that's the question. Can Mayweather beat him technically? And that's because Manny is fighting on the same elite level than Floyd is, and that's the question. That is why people say Floyd is not great. He needs Manny Pacquiao, and I agree. But Floyd has faced very tough opposition. This last fight, Marcos Maidana, was a very close fight, and he's 37, and it depends on your point of view, of whether you want to where you rank Floyd. Some of them say he's the greatest boxer that ever lived. Some say he doesn't even belong in the top 25, you know. I personally think that Floyd can't be ranked at this time because, he needs to retire. He needs to retire so we can see his all his credentials. We don't know who's he gonna fight next. He needs to retire and see where compare his full resume and and people also the undefeated streak and being undefeated. Some people don't think about it as that a big deal, but in boxing, in boxing, it's a big deal. You know, maybe not in other sports, but in boxing, to be undefeated, to always come out on top of another guy that's trying to knock your head off. It's and not giving up that hunger, no matter what problems you have every year, no matter what happens, you always get in there and perform and come out on top. That is something, you know it's something that deserves its credentials. He maybe it's not enough to be the greatest of all time, but it does put you in the argument because it's something tough, and especially fighting in the elite level that Floyd has been fighting all along. With all that said and done, that's what I think about Floyd's legacy and whether or not he is the greatest of all time or where he ranks. Thank you.